today on the telly that if Cameron has to depend to any more concessions, he'll be out.
Oh.
He will actually leave.
No.
Because even his I don't know, we'll wait and see.
I think, quite honestly, Rose, his own government are full of shit.
Yeah, well, they reckon if he loses face anymore, that's it.
Well, he's got so many faces to lose, Rose. That's the whole point about him.
He hasn't done anything apart from waste our money. Brian's right.
He's more crooked than a bloody corkscrew, and he's got more forked tongues than a snake. You know, as far as I'm concerned, his own government, they're a bunch of wankers. We saw this, you know, we never heard another thing back from that damned MP. Not a thing. No letter to say thank you for the consultation, we'll keep you informed. Nothing. And I haven't heard any more from Curo either.
Peculiar.
Yes, well, it's not peculiar, they're always the same. I telephoned them this morning, I paid the garage bills, what was owing. And I owed them £25 on one, and I owed them £30 on another. So I paid that, and that brought me up to date. I recorded the conversation. And so therefore, you know, Curo themselves, they come over here, and this is how it usually is, and how it usually goes on.
And yet, see, yesterday I phoned Selwood about 4:05, complaining about the light in the kitchen. It would come on, then it'd go off, and then suddenly it'd come on again.
Yeah.
It was, you know, the pins that are up in the top, one of them was gone.
Yeah.
And it did make me laugh because I said it without thinking. And he said, it's some young kid on the other end. And he said, do you need to start motors? No, I need a light fix. It carried on, and he said, let me see. I can get an electrician to you on the 424th. I said, excuse me, that is not acceptable. Pardon?
What's he rattling about in the background?
Explain to him what is wrong.
You're going to have to put him in a cage and just cover him with a sheet, Rose.
I know.
He's like a parrot.
So anyway, he came back on the phone and he said, oh, health and safety have said that you have to have an emergency. I said, yes. I said, you do realise that the bungalows were for disabled or elderly people?
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm both.
Yeah.
And he went, oh. And can we get an engineer to call tomorrow? I said, yes, by all means. Can you ring in the morning to confirm it? Because we can't book it now.
Yeah.
For the next day.
Right.
Which didn't make sense. Anyway, I phoned him up at 3 in the morning. And the bloke came, I don't know, about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's done.
Well, that's something, you see, Rose. You know, with Curo, they just ignore it and they go on ignoring it. We checked on the house on Friday, I think it was, just to see, you know, because we hadn't received any letters, or they said that they'd have a look and see what properties they had and they get back to us. Well, we heard nothing at all. And so it goes on and goes on, and I thought, well, I'm not going to keep arguing about this. We've done our bit, but it's, you know, it's deliberate, Rose. And there's no point in, you know, fighting for idiots like this. You know, you could wear yourself out, Rose. Just keep arguing with them. What are you going to do? We've given them more of an opportunity than we possibly can, and it doesn't work. So fine. You know, I can't do anything else. I thought after the meeting that we had 3-4 weeks ago, at least they get their finger out. But there's been nothing at all. And this is how they behave. You know, what else can you do? You really can't.
And it seems okay, because disabled men works the same way for you.
Yes, but as I said, they do it deliberately. And they have done it deliberately. I think it's quite clear. It can't be any mistake, Rose.
I wouldn't have thought so.
After, we must have had in total, since I've been a tenant, there must have been at least 18 meetings. But it gets you nowhere. And, just now when I was down in Cairn, I started to collapse. And I was so rough, I could hardly stand. And I can't be bothered anymore. I honestly can't be bothered anymore. It's ridiculous. How?
Well, there was a number, while I remember, on that mine thing,
yeah.
there was a number came up on the telly, and the BBC News yesterday. I wasn't in time to write it down.
Well, I got the number.
You had it?
Yeah, I did. I got it from the Mind website. And I telephoned yesterday.
Thanks. So it says if you're not satisfied or had a problem with your dealings to do with mental health, to ring them.
Yes, I did. And they couldn't believe that there was absolutely no help. She said, I know things are bad, but she said, to tell you there's absolutely nothing. I said, but this is just it. And I've said to her the same thing. I said, we've got dozens of people employed now to tell us they can't do anything. So why are they there? You know, we're just employing people just to answer the phones nowadays.
Did you tell them that she said she was a consultant?
Sorry?
She said she was a consultant.
Who said she was a consultant?
That's what you told me. The woman on the phone that said she couldn't do anything.
That's right, yes. Oh, no, the one from Wiltshire Health. Yes, indeed she was. But because, you've got to have this special registration, although they're trained in it, they're not registered in it. My attitude was, well, why are you employed?
Yeah.
Because it's like saying, well, I'm a mechanic, but I haven't got any certificates for it, and I can't fix a car, so what the fucking hell are you doing working in the garage? And so it goes on, But I am getting sick and tired of seeing that pig-faced cunt, that Cameron, every time I log on to the internet.
Mr. Lewington.
What?
Language, then.
Well, that's commonplace for what people are calling him.
Not to me.
Well...
I've also used it the other day. We got told off.
What, Bob used it?
Yes, he used the C word.
Oh, well, no, I've got quite used to using it.
Oh, well, I don't know.
No, I'm afraid I've got quite used to using that. It's like my mum said to me years ago, because I pulled her up on her swearing. And this was about 10 years ago, if not more. I said, Mother, honestly, your bloody language. And she said, in the 50s, I never, ever swore. She said, you wouldn't think it, but she said, life makes you swear, trust me. And she's right. And my
I don't know about that.
Oh, it does. Yes, it does. I think nowadays I swear far more than I've ever done. And I've got to the stage now where, I was in the one-stop just now and I picked up a few groceries. Wasn't a lot, but they won't give you a bag. And I said, well, keep the fucking stuff then. I don't care. You're a tacky, shitty little shop. And tacky, shitty little people that work in it. We could get rid of the one-stops and we wouldn't worry a bloody damn. They're only Tesco's, after all. And you can see what's happened to Tesco's. Nobody...
I went in Tesco's the other day, first time in a year, if not longer.
Well, I went into a Tesco's up on the estate up here, and I don't use Tesco's at all in the main. But you look at it, and it really is a third rate.
And the one-stops are horrendously expensive.
Well,
But they did have a good deal in the main shop in Trowbridge. They had at half price.
I find that Iceland have some very good deals on vegetables, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. I don't buy their ready meals very often at all because there's nothing there that I would want to buy. But their potatoes are very good. You can get a nice big bag of potatoes for £2.
Yeah, well, I generally only use Mars Piper because I like them.
Well, these aren't Mars Piper.
No, they're not. I looked the other day. They're just white potatoes.
Well, they cook up perfectly well. They honestly do.
No, I bought some others that were white potatoes, and they didn't make good roasters. They didn't make good chips.
Well,
They lovely mash.
well, you see, there again, when I'm doing stove tatties or I'm doing mash, ordinary white potatoes is fine. And you get for £2, I think it's 5 kilo of
Yeah,
potatoes.
it's a massive bag. I did see them the other
Yes,
day.
and they're nice. They're not generally rotten. The onions you've got to be careful with, in all honesty. But the trouble with onions, as Ed said earlier, you can't see inside of them anyway.
No, you can't, but you can at least feel.
But at least, yes, exactly. And this is why I opened a couple of bags of onions. Because once they're soft, you know they're no good. And so at least it reduces the risk if nothing else. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put on these gammon steaks and do the stove tatties like I usually do, and get back onto me diet. Just lately I didn't. My weight hasn't gone up or down, to be fair. Because Ed said to me, he said, well, you don't want to go back onto the biscuits and the cakes and things like that. And he's right, because I don't. And one of the things I love, and not a lot of people do, but I love bovril, you see. Well, for me, to have a baked potato with a little bit of butter and some bovril is lovely. I quite enjoy that. But equally so, if you're going to do your stove tatties, that's nice with a bit of gammon and some fried onion. So you may as well, when you can, a bag of potatoes for me will make 3 or 4 really good meals, if not more so. Yeah. And Ed finds these gammon steaks. Now, they're very, very nice. I can't think where'd you get those gammon steaks from? Oh, he gets them from the co-op. Now, these are big. These are lovely gammon steaks, but they're salty. And what they've done, they've taken a round of gammon, and they've cut off, good 3/4 of an inch thick steaks off of it. But of course, because it's proper gammon, it really needs soaking. So you've got to be careful with that. But I shall have that with a little bit of Worcester sauce later on. And that'll make a really, nice meal to have. This time round, I won't be putting the onions in with the stove tatties. I usually do, but I think I'll have the fried onions separately. And Ed's going to have, he's been buying lately some stuffed mushrooms. Because when we went up to see Steve and Jill up in Wimbledon a few weeks ago, she always cooks a beautiful meal up there for us when we go up. And her steak is absolutely first class. It's always so bloody tender. And I don't know how they do it, but, the last time I cooked a steak that tender was when I first met Ed. So this got to be 4 years or so ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And we got this down in Swanage, and this steak was so bloody tender it melted in the mouth. And I've never been able to do a steak like it since. But her steaks are like it. We, or at least I did, when I was out, I think I might have told you, I found one of those Foreman fat machines.
Yeah.
Do you remember I told you I bought it?
Yeah.
Well, it was only £8, and this machine looked like it had barely been used. Well, Ed cooked the steak on it the other night, and that turned out to be really lovely as well. So I'm keeping the fat content as low as I can now. on eating. But of course, you kind of run out of ideas when it comes to stove tatties. You honestly do. I could do that. I could do just mash with the, because it's all the same. It just depends on which way you prepare it. But I could peel the potatoes and just do mash, which would be nice. So a pile of mashed potato with gammon steaks, equally nice, and a few fried onions.
I like gammon steaks with pineapple.
Gammon steaks with pineapple is lovely, or even with parsley sauce. And I haven't done that with parsley sauce for years. But, we used to grow our own parsley years ago.
Yeah.
And these days, who grows bloody parsley? I haven't seen any for a long time.